My tax money went to funding what I believe is a genocide and what 57% of Biden voters say is a genocide. That just came out, whether you like it or not. And I also come at this as a mom. All right, I have an 18-month-old daughter, and there are 10,000 women in Gaza who were killed, and 6,000 of them were mothers. There are 19,000 orphans in Gaza right now, and 60,000 pregnant women who are giving birth in abject conditions, who are struggling to eat, to feed themselves, to feed their unborn children, and mothers who are struggling to even nurse because you need so many calories when you're a nursing mom, right? And they are starving. So that's where I'm coming at this from. Why? I'm asking President Biden, why are we continuing to fund this? And thankfully, in response to the Iranian attack, right, which whether or not you believe it was performative or real, whatever it was, Biden has actually, for the first time, hallelujah, argued for some amount of restraint, saying we're not going to go there in an offensive against Iran, depending on what Israel does. Final point, it's funny to be lectured about human rights. Oh, Iran doesn't have human rights. Look, I'm no fan of the Iranian regime. I don't come on here to stump for the Iranian regime. I don't stump for the American regime. I stump for humans and human rights. But it is funny that Israel, which is basically controlled its population and occupies an entire people in order to not make them citizens, in order to deny them fundamental human rights by design, that they are then lecturing other countries about what they do to their own people. Give me a break. We all see through this. So here's what I would have liked my government to have done. If my government is one of the most advanced militaries in the world, if it has a map of every man, woman, and child in an area that they actually control, the airspace, the land, the sea to, I would expect them to know exactly where the so-called terrorists are. But that's not actually what Israel has been doing. Israel has been using an AI technology that deliberately targets suspected militants, but they're only suspected, meaning they were on a group chat with it's unfounded. Israeli journalists have covered this, and they target them when? As soon as they enter where? Their homes, where their families are, where it will maximize the amount of civilian casualties. So what I can tell you, what I would want my government to do, and what the United States government has asked Israel to do, although of course with a little whimper, please, right, is to be precise, to take a step back, to not just collectively punish the people of Gaza for the crimes of a select small few, many of whom were not even born when Hamas came into power. How can you call this also a war, Piers? Let's stop calling this a war. A war is when two equal sides actually fight. There's battle lines, there's this and that. I see IDF soldiers parading around with women's lingerie in the homes that they have raided, mocking them, mocking the trinkets, the items, the loved things that the Palestinian people will never be able to hold ever again. That is not a war. This is a genocide. This is a mockery of what should be a so-called war.